Hello and welcome to Viber Finance. My name is Lindsay. Tonight I am joined again with the lovely Serena Alonzi, and we have a very special guest, Just Being Black. Tonight we will be talking about kids in crypto, investing, what the conversation sounds like, why we're teaching our kids how to invest, things that we wish that people did for us, all of the good things we're going to be walking through, teaching kids financial freedom, teaching them financial confidence. These are just the conversations that we're going to have tonight. But before we get started, before I let these lovely ladies introduce themselves to you, a little hello from Vibra Finance.
At Vibra Finance, we seek out the hidden gems in cryptocurrency. We will tailor your portfolio to work for you. Are you ready to transition your investments from traditional markets to cryptocurrency? Are your coins staked and earning interest? Are you overwhelmed with all the jargon in crypto? Is your portfolio underperforming and you want to reposition into consistent winning blue chip coins and viable projects? Do you feel like you missed out on DeFi, Metaverse, and NFTs? Here at Vibra Finance, we provide you with the data, skills, and tools you need to stay on top of the digital asset market. Vibra Finance, we are the future of crypto.
All right. Hi, ladies. Please
Hi.
introduce yourselves. Give us a hello, Serena. What's going on?
Hey, so I'm Serena Alonzi, OG Hexagon. So I'm still here trying to teach people about Hex and not give financial advice. So
yeah, we never do that on the stream. If you want financial advice, you can schedule a consultation with me anytime. That's available on the website. Anyway, okay, let's be Black. What's going on? Black Hexagon.
Yeah. So I go by Black Hexagon on most social media platforms. My actual handle, though, you are right, on Twitter is just being BLAKC. I don't really know how to describe who I am or what I do because I do a little bit of everything, a little bit of event planning, a little bit of streaming. But overall, I'm a cryptocurrency enthusiast. So I try to lend my skills wherever I can.
Community ambassador extraordinaire, mom extraordinaire. I mean, you don't sell yourself short. We know that you don't sleep. So
hey,
hi everyone. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Nurse Scarlett Rose, what's going on? Hex Softball, love that name. What position did you play? Vibra Finance CEO, thank you for being in the house. Ocean Breeze and Funding Jim, welcome. Tonight we are talking about getting kids into crypto. And since we have one of our community members, authors in the house, co-authors, tell us about that. How did this come about?
Yeah, sure.
Start with it.
Right here. I always have it with me. So if you guys want to go check us out, it's ABC Crypto. It is a terms and definitions book. Oh, look at that. How beautiful. So my husband did all the writing and I kind of stick to the promo. And then me and my daughter did the illustrations inside of the book. So how it kind of came about was my husband was actually writing a fiction book series, a children's fiction book series. And as he was writing this book, he would send me little, what do you call that, snippets of it, like little sections, so that I could read it to my daughter, kind of see if she was understanding, if she was liking it or whatnot. And what I found out was that she wasn't understanding all the terms that we were using. You expect them not to understand things like tokenomics and alphanumeric and words like that. But she wasn't understanding the simple terms like FUD, FOMO, those kind of acronym words that we use in the community a lot, but our children really don't know what we're talking about. For them, they're like, oh, you guys are just using boomer words, right? That's like the common phrase that we hear in our household from our kids. Oh, you guys are boomers. We don't know what you're talking about. So I asked my husband, I was like, look, if we're going to write this children's book series, and we need to be able to use cryptocurrency terms, we need them to have essentially, at the end of the book, sometimes there's like definitions and terms, but I was like, we should start with that. We should bring it out first, get people familiar, almost using it as a curriculum. I don't know if you guys know, but I homeschool my kids. So when we go to teach them cryptocurrency or anything for that matter, for the most part, we look for the curriculum ourselves. So I didn't find much out there to help me teach my kids crypto. So that was kind of the motivation for creating this book. And then we still plan on putting out a fiction chapter book series.
And that is how history is made and things get done and change gets made in this world. Having that idea, grabbing it and bringing your family together, you know, that's a beautiful thing right there. I'm really like, I am so excited about that. So I didn't know that you homeschool your kids. And
Mhm.
since we're talking about kids and money, that has everything to do with education. So what made you decide to not take the leap, but like what made you decide to excuse me, homeschool your kids?
So my background, crazy kind of, was not in education originally. Like I didn't go to college for education. I went for marketing. And when I graduated college, I was a young parent. I had my daughter about 6 months before I graduated school, right? So I decided to come back to my hometown. And my grandfather is a pastor of a pretty large church in San Diego, and there is a church school that's attached to that. I grew up in that school. My brothers, my cousins, everybody grew up in that school. Excuse me, I probably need some water. Um, so when I hold on one second.
No, I'm right there with you. Take your time. We're here. We're here for it. It's all good. I get a little choked up too, thinking about the kids.
Yeah. So when I returned back home, and I wanted to bring my daughter, my new baby, into the school system, I had seen that the school wasn't up to the same level, the same expectations that it had when I was there, right? The economy, the staffing, it was just not what I expected. So at that moment, I decided, like, I literally just changed my entire life. I'm like, hey, I'm going to come and work for the school. I want to be in my daughter's life full time. And I want to make sure that she has the same type of experience that I had. So I basically just quit what I was doing, like quit looking for other opportunities, was fine making the minimum amount of money. And for 15 years, I ran what we call a daycare. So that's infant and toddlers, two preschools, and a elementary school. So I did that for 15 years. I did not stop doing that until I ran into the Crypto Sparkle team, and I could see that they needed some support on their tour. And at that time, the pandemic had just hit, so the landscape of private schools was changing. We could see the impact on our school. I was searching. I was looking for something different. Right, my oldest daughter was already off to high school. My youngest two, they were getting towards the end of their elementary education. And so I just didn't feel like, I was being called to continue working in that field, right? I was doing it to be a part of my child's everyday life, not because I just had this overarching love for elementary education. I do believe in educating our children, and especially our own children, but it wasn't something that was fulfilling me. So when the opportunity came to hop on the tour with the guys, I kind of felt like it was everything just lined up so perfectly. Me had already started looking for new opportunities, us being in the same city at the same time, them needing somebody like me that could kind of organize and push them to the next level. So I decided to go ahead and do that. And then after ending the tour, we decided that instead of me like trying to go back into that school system, that we would just homeschool our kids until they got to middle school.
That is awesome. These
Yep.
are the most important years for us to be hands-on so that we are really making sure that the fundamentals are taken care of, the very basics. I mean, right now my kids are younger. We're working on fundamentals like holding the pencil properly, putting
Mhm.
punctuation down, capitalizing the beginning of a sentence, like these things because uh, unfortunately right now they attend a public school. That's a different topic, different time. Um, it's our public schools are really lacking the support for these things
Mhm.
because the class sizes are so large. Well, my son has special needs, so he's in a small class as it is, 611. And like, so anyway, the back to the point of it is like having those basics and being hands-on with our own children is not something you hear a lot of out there. There's
Mhm.
not, I don't hear like hearing that from you. I was like, okay, as soon as you said that, I was like, that makes perfect sense. That makes absolutely perfect sense. Why she was able to be like and just take it and really bring such a dynamic group of energies and individuals and ideas and passions, and really to the way that you have collected all of that and the way to watch you boss in action live is a thing of beauty. That's why this is 110% one of the reasons why I knew that I could get comfortable talking on stream about Hex and the community and the things that were going on around us because of people like you, because of people like Serena, because I knew that when you went into that, you had an idea, you had a plan, and you were executing it. And so I knew that the message is and will continue to be spread far and wide because of the efforts that you put into it. So thank you, and thank you for being here today and sharing these things that you're doing with your kids and having these conversations. Homeschooling kids, tell us what that's like.
It's definitely challenging. I can't say that it's easy, but in all honesty, I can't send my kids into a system. I'm a bit of a control freak. I mean, like you just said, you saw me bossing people around. It's because I
Yeah.
like that level of control. It was easy when I was running the school, right? I chose all their teachers, I picked all their curriculum, and then just coming out of that system, I just wasn't willing to entrust my kids with people that I don't know, especially not to get into agendas and different belief systems or whatnot. But I just feel like while they're young, you need to protect them as much as you possibly can, and you need to educate them in a way that you're comfortable with, right? So that your kids aren't coming home disagreeing with you and telling you what some other adult has fed into them. We have discussions. We talk things through. It's not like I'm trying to shelter them from things, but to me, it's just really important that I maximize this time. They only have one childhood. Like that's just it. Like once they're out and grown, they live their own life. So right now, while I have the opportunity, everybody's not blessed to be able to not work a 9 to 5 job, right? But I have that opportunity. So that's why I'm doing it. As far as like schedule and whatnot, me going on tour completely rocked their worlds. My husband, my kids, like everybody. And so that's kind of the reason why I started streaming daily, just to get some consistency in all of our schedules, right? So now my kids know, even though that they're at home, that school starts at a certain time. And why is that? It's because we need to get curriculum hours done before mom stream. And then after mom stream, then we can have what we call PE, physical education, outdoor time, right? And so that consistency of schedule has made it a lot easier in making sure that we're still elevating, because what can happen real easily when you homeschool is that it starts feeling like summer, and like everything is just all out of whack, especially with kids and gaming nowadays. You can't watch your kids 24/7. If you fall asleep at 9:30, 10 o'clock, and then your kid gets on the computer, yeah, it's possible that they could be on there till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? And so you just have to find that consistency of schedule to where you're essentially running them tired until so that they're too tired to stay up and be on the game all night.
That's
So
right.
that's really just what it's about, is just trying to be consistent and set expectations.
Kids have the most amazing energy, and they have
Yeah.
the most amazing amount of energy to them. And when they are not being encouraged to do
Mm,
those things, whether it be because you have put because you have put this beautiful system in place for them, you've put boundaries, you put guidelines, and they respect that. Children respect that. They want that. They thrive off of that. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. They will fight you tooth and nail. I don't want to do this, but you can tell us, at the end of the day, after you've had those discussions and you're on the same page and you're communicating with your kids you just communicate with them on a different level.
Mhm.
You take the time to just be present. And whether that's like putting down the phone or saying, okay, not thinking about that right now. What do you need? And it's literally like honing in right on them and not who you think they are or what you think they should be doing, but just listening to what they're needing. Like, I'm sure that you hear so many things from your kids that would get lost if they were with another perspective, another persona for 8+ hours of the day that does not have co-aligning values. Like,
Mhm.
so I applaud you so much for doing that. I am so looking forward to being able to be in the same position. It's truly like a dream and a passion of mine to be able to foster those things within my own kids in my own home. Things are out of my control right now, which I don't like because you know how that goes. So, Serena,
Mhm.
tell us what it was like with you for like your, growing up. What did conversations in your home sound like around education and financial education?
There was no conversations about stuff like that. So, yeah, I wish there was. So I think it's really cool that you can homeschool your kids and make sure they want to learn what, like, the things you want them to learn. Because there definitely is agendas. So it's pretty obvious. So, yeah, but never anything about finances or money or anything like that.
Right?
So, no, it's definitely an advantage for your kids if you can tell them those things when they're young and when it's easy for them to learn. It's so important. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's my biggest complaint with the public school system is that they spend so much time talking about things that, different people's opinion, whether or not you feel like it's valuable, or me, I don't know. But for me, I feel like you spend so much time teaching these history lessons, right? Of somebody's narrative. We don't know
Mm,
how factual this information is, but you spend so much time on this and then on like liberal studies as far as like you know what I mean, like gender studies and all these different things, right?
mm,
But how does that help them buy a house? How does that help them prepare for the millions of credit cards that are going to get thrown at them as soon as they leave their parents' house? Like, you're not really preparing them
mm,
to be adults, like to
no.
be able to handle the world that we live in. Instead, we're focused on, these theoretical studies,
Hmm.
if this, then that. Like, come
Yeah.
on, man. No, like reality is that you need to know how to pay your bills.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I just like, I literally focus on math and language because the rest of it, you're going to learn. Like,
Mm,
I mean, of course you're going to learn science, but I'd rather learn science by going outside and digging up a hole and seeing what we find and then
Exactly.
learn and then write a paper on what you found. You know what I mean? You can learn these things outside of just going through a standard curriculum.
mhm.
You know what I
A
mean? We spend so
curriculum
much time on this other stuff.
few people actually take the time to like sit with that and think about what their kids are actually learning in school. And I do understand that because I was there. But what our
Mhm.
schools are what these children are learning in school is exactly what they want them to know.
Yeah, they're teaching them tests.
It's all curriculum based that was all brought to like our educational foundation, and please somebody correct me out there if I'm wrong, but from what I understand our curriculum in or like for the school system for America is based on curriculum was wrote in the 1800s. Now does that sound familiar to you with something that else could be antiquated that we're dealing with that's a mess? I don't know. So, here we are with the technology is there, but the actual curriculum has not evolved
Mm,
to give these children the skills and tools that they need to truly set themselves up for success. Now, what it does set them up for is to be a debt slave. And I know as a mother that like, oh, what are your kids learning in school? Oh, my kids are learning how to be a debt slave.
Mm.
I mean, can you swallow that so well? That's hard for me,
Mm.
but really, like, if you really like step way, way outside the box and look way, way out of that, if they're not truly prepping them and having these, my son's teacher does dollar rewards with them. So it does give them incentive, but it's not like the paper dollar. It's just a little representation of it. So it's sparking a little bit of interest in him, but not just like having those little conversations at home. Like you said, if you're teaching your kids about crypto and they don't understand what something means, you're really going to have to break it all the way back down to traditional finance or TradFi, right?
Mm.
So starting with those things at home and for example, so for an example of like things that you can do to stimulate financial education, financial literacy with your kids, you don't have to go so technical with it with the terminology. For a very basic example, the other day, someone picked up a steak from the store and was in a rush and it was not good. So long story short, we had to return it. And I found that to be a very valuable experience. I took my daughter with me into the store and I showed her how to return something that a customer to a retailer with a product that was unsatisfactory. I walked her through that process. And so for her, that'll give her that confidence knowing that like she doesn't have to apologize for like any kind of money situation. Like it was not, that's the fault of the business, not the fault of the consumer. These are conversations that you have. I don't really know how to tie that one back there. But anyway, like I feel like having those small little moments where you're showing your kids how, rather than waiting until they have that credit card debt and being like, I can't believe you got yourself into this mess. Well, okay, how can you not believe your kid got yourself in this mess if you never had the conversation with proper, like responsible credit card management?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to teach them. You guys are so right, because no one else will teach them for you. And the school system is set up on purpose that way. So it's like, I was just going to say it, but then someone in the comments said it was set up by Rockefeller, which I'm pretty sure that's, yeah. So it's all on purpose. Nothing is an accident. And if you don't teach your kids about crypto and money, they're never going to learn. So unless when they're older and they have the own interest on, like the interest on themselves, then they'll learn, but that's not too common. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're in crypto as a parent, you have an obligation to teach your kids crypto. It's the same thing. I mean, even more serious than having a will, right? Because at least in the traditional financial system, if something happens to you, you pass away, and you have a lot of money in the bank will contact your family, right? You can take that death certificate to the bank. You can get those funds, right? If you're in crypto, if all of your wealth, all of your savings is in crypto and something happens to you and your kids don't understand, likely that money is just lost forever.
Yep.
So you have an obligation as a parent to ensure that if you're going to build generational wealth, you got to make sure it gets to the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. And like you said, they need to know how to custody those keys. Well, importantly, they need to know how to custody those keys. They need to know how to keep that crypto safe. And they also, like you said, they need to know what generational wealth is, what that truly means. And that is something that comes with teaching your children your good habits, your good behaviors, and setting good examples for them so that they can see good money habits, good money habits with spending, saving, giving. That's a little thing we do for the kids. They have 3 jars. So if they have money coming in, they have a choice, but they have to split that money between 3 places: giving, saving, spending. So they can do whatever they want to with it. That gives them the choice of what they want to do with the money. And then they understand at the end of the day what they're saving for. They have a goal that they're saving for. What some of the stuff like slime, honestly, like that's what you want to do with your money. Wait till you start working, sister. Wait till you
They
start
do. They truly do. Yeah. I'm actually happy because my daughter has recently developed an interest in Pokemon cards. So that's really created some great conversations in our household because she's really wrapping her mind around investing. And I think that came from, being in a crypto household where everything is investing, you know. So now she's like really focused on her Pokemon collection. And even when she goes to trade in her cards, she doesn't let those people lowball her anymore. Like she is serious about it. She's like, no, this is a $40 card. I will not take less than $30. like she's like legit serious about it. But just going back to the crypto thought, it's even more important, like beyond just knowing how to find the seed words, like you have to make them press buttons. Like you've got to get them comfortable with how to do things, because yeah, maybe they know where to find your seed words, and then they know how to put those in, and then they see this crypto in the wallet, right? But if all your holdings are in something decentralized like Hex, and they need real world money, they need to know how to find a DEX and how to swap that Hex for something like Ethereum or USDC, and then how to get that to a fiat off ramp, right? And then into the bank, or however peer-to-peer transactions. Like they've really got to be immersed into, like, as much as we are, that's how much they need to know.
Yeah. Kids learn by example, and they have to have that tactile hands-on, and we are just so happening to be in going so digital and so I mean, honestly, like watching AI explode over the last few weeks in the markets has been just freaking nuts. If you're not paying attention to what's blowing up in the markets, then you might not be aware of what is coming in the future. AI that's coming at you, it's coming at your kids harder. So what are you doing to protect them? You know, get their hands on the screen and teach them this is real, this is fake from the get, so that they have more of an opportunity to protect themselves and be aware in the future. Also, as young Hexicans, you know, we need to start teaching them safe things. Not, I mean, gosh, this is honestly, this stream, we could probably go on for days, hours, months, years, weeks. I mean, we will throughout the years. We're going to be here for a long time. We'll be having our conversations as our kids grow, and we're going to be watching more children being born into this community. Like we already had like we had a fall batch this year, right? And now we're going to have like a spring batch. Like we got some babies coming up. Yeah. With the ladies come the babies, and we have honestly the best community out there. And you know, this is true DeFi here. We are the hands of the holders of things that people will want to take from us. So we need to teach our children good financial habits so that they cannot take that from them. And knowing that someone cannot take something that you need to facilitate daily living things with, allows you to feel grounded and firm and confident and tall, and to instill that mentality in your young sons, to instill the mentality in your young daughters, will flip the script. We will see so much less of the nonsense. I truly believe that. But that has to start at home. And I understand, like, how do you balance those things if you don't have the opportunity as we do? We're very lucky, I do realize that, to be able to be entrepreneurs and work from home. We create our schedule. But that was no accident. I busted my butt to get to the position to be in an entrepreneurial position. And that wasn't taught to me. I was taught to save. Anyway, I'm very good with saving. I'm really good at making money. Money likes me. I'm attracted to it. It's attracted to me. We have a good relationship. So, like, you know, these things are not going away. We need to get out there and bring more ladies into these conversations, bring more eyes on getting good habits into kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sorry, I could get on a soapbox on that one all night. I get so passionate about it because I really wish that, like, Serena, you and I have had these conversations many times where we say, like, man, I wish that somebody did that for me. Serena, you had an awesome idea a couple weeks ago about something that you could do to incentivize your kids to learn. And it was like reading a book. And after they read a book, you had said that if you read this book about something with, you know, mindset or money, something.
It was either a financial book or like a mindset book, something that would benefit them.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want it to just be, not that I have kids, but if I did, this was just a example of what I would do. Yeah, I wouldn't want them to just read any book or a comic book. Like, no, it has to be something that would help you. So financial or mindset, those were the two strongest things that I think, especially at a young age, that kids should learn about and read. And I was telling you, Lindsay, that, yeah, I wish there was some hex system that I could get rewarded. And I was encouraged to read those books because I would be so far ahead. And to have your mind right and an understanding of finances at a young age, that is like, that's priceless. That's, I don't know. That's why, like, what you're doing, Black Hexagon, I think that is amazing. Like, I would totally homeschool my kids if I had them. Because education is so important. So, like, real education, not stupid crap at school, but, so, yeah.
Yeah. And then just to talk about like incentives, one of the things that we did, it might have been like 2 years now. We got everybody in my family, my 3 kids, my husband, myself, hardware wallet. And we funded each wallet with $100, right? And then we let our kids decide how they wanted to invest their $100. And because they made their decisions, like looking at a chart like this and like, saying, okay, I'm going to put some in the hex, I'm going to put some in the H bar, some in the SHIB, whatever, that made them more interested in tracking it and paying attention to it. Because like, now I got skin in the game. This is my wallet. Nobody can take this from me. So now I care about the price movement. And now when my birthday comes and I get a couple $100, now because I get to monitor my own Etherscan, now I'm willing to put an extra $25, $50 in it. Right. My kids fund their accounts now.
That's cool.
And it's because they feel ownership over their wallet. And like on their computers, like I don't let them, have their seeds on their computers or anything, but they have their address, right, in like their notes, and they know how to go to Etherscan, put their address in, and look at their holdings.
Oh my gosh, they're like 25 steps ahead of some of my clients, and I'm okay with that. Like when I say that, like my elderly clients that are like want to get into crypto, but they're like, what's 2-factor? So
Right.
They're like, what? It's amazing. You're having them go to Etherscan. You're having them input addresses. You're having them be accountable and responsible. And mistakes may happen.
Yeah.
And
they get more upset when the hex price goes down than I do. Like, they're like, who's selling? No, I'm like, calm down. It's a bear market. You have to DCA, kids, just DCA.
Yeah. But I do love that you're getting them to be well-rounded, even within the crypto sphere. Sorry, I had to degen out a second and check the bubbles on that one. I was like, oh yeah, that looks like HR looks pretty good. Anyway, but these are things that teaching them about projects and companies and conglomerates that are out there and then teaching them about DeFi, amazing things. Because whether you like it or you don't have to participate in that ecosystem at all. You do not have to. If you don't want to, don't go play out there. You can stay in Hexland and you could stay here. And there's a perfectly flourishing ecosystem here. There is zero reason for you to feel like you should go somewhere else if you don't want to. That's never what we're saying. We're just saying there are other opportunities out there. So for you to, bring a well-rounded awareness to that with your kids is important too, so that they can understand why or why not and make those choices for themselves. Because if you only teach them one way and you say like, I don't know, unless they really get what hex is, and sometimes as like an adult, sometimes we're finding a lot of people are like, I don't know. I don't really know, but I know I'm here and I know I'm here for a reason and I'm here and I'm learning. But that's all it takes is just being out there and getting in and listening in conversations and not being afraid to ask questions, especially the ladies out there. Do not be afraid to ask questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question, especially in crypto land, ever. And there is always someone out there on the other end of social. I mean, from my experience anyway, that might not be always be the case, but I'm like Susie Sunshine over here. And I'm like, there's always somebody on the other side that's willing to help you. But true, like, but and I honestly feel comfortable saying that like with these women, because I know that if I had a problem and I needed something, I could call you and be like, I don't understand this, or I need help with this, or I'm not really sure. And I know that you would be like, okay.
Yeah,
That's
let's
beautiful.
talk it through. Yep, absolutely.
So, the stronger we grow, this is so early days. We are like infantiles ourselves as Hexicans in this market, in this whole ecosystem. The great financial reset is coming.
Yeah.
So many things are changing down the pipeline. We are early days. We sitting in on conversations with other women in finance in the area. I went to a meeting last week, and the conversation around the room really got me excited for the stream, because it was very similar. I didn't know anything about money. Either the women were handed money from their dads and everything was paid for until they got out of college, and then their dads were like, yeah, you can get a job, go buy. And they had thousands of dollars in credit card debt. And that leads to a whole myriad of things. That's a different stream too. But like, getting more women to feel comfortable having those conversations and just say like, okay, opening up their eyes to like, there's a way out there. Like I heard a lot, maybe it's just the area, and it's probably the area that I'm into, or the room that I was in, because I went to the book is called Money Bitch, and it's to empower women to take control of their finances, to start saving, spending, investing, like not, just really giving them that confidence to want to stand on their own 2 feet, when it's sometimes, if you haven't been given that education, there's always going to be a point where it's a wake up call. And what age does that wake up call in? Because if that wake up call comes in with your children, well, they have the ability to make a small mistake, or you have the ability to guide them now. So if you gave them $5 to go to the store, whatever your system is with that, we do a reward system with a chore chart, so they're earning those things. It helps them feel accountable, responsible, it encourages them, teaches them responsibility, all the good things. Now, it's not without struggle, please know this. It's a constant fight. But at the end of the day, when they go to that store, they have that $5. Now, do I want them spending it on slime and gum and candy? No. However, when they go and they spend it on slime and gum and candy, and then they turn around and we go to the next store and they're like, oh, can I get that?
Spent all your money.
Well, not today. However, if you had saved that $5, if you had maybe put that $5 away for a little time bit until you had enough to get what you want, it's everything boils down to teaching them delayed gratification and little simple things that we can do with them daily. It's hard though, man. Kids are resilient and they're brilliant and they will fight for what they want. And to foster that within them and give them like good tools to use, so that they're not like that guy that's out there like baby boomer in his Thunderbird and his sweet hair, and he's dating a 20-year-old, like, teach them delayed gratification now and you won't be dealing with Dennis later.
Good point.
Anyway, sorry. I get excited when we talk about these things. I know we go back so far onto crypto. I don't want to hold you hostage all night, but I want to know if there's anything else that you feel is super important to share, or if there's anything else you'd like to share for like encouraging kids to get into crypto. Besides your awesome book here, I'm really excited about this. We talked about that.
Yeah, please go and check out the book once again. Oh, she got it up. I don't even have to shill like that. But I would encourage it. I mean, of course, it's my book, so I want support. I want everybody to go and get it. But even more than that, this book is so useful for anyone entering the crypto space. Like, I've got so much feedback from men that's like, oh, I gave the book to my wife, and now she like kind of understands some of the things that I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, anybody that doesn't have a complete understanding of all the terms, this right here is an awesome resource just to have in the book, in the house, when you're onboarding and all that kind of stuff. So, please go check out our book. It's on Amazon. Another thing that I'm doing is my daily stream over on KSB TV YouTube channel. And literally the point of it is so that people that are coming into crypto do not feel like there's any dumb questions. I love our streamers in the community, but they have been in Hex for so long that the conversations go so beyond, those opening conversations that anybody just coming in, they have no idea where to start. Like they just have no context as far as like, how do I get going? So I feel like that evergreen content is so important in our space. So I basically just restarted my learning lessons all the way back to the beginning, just like, what is crypto? Why do we even do it? What are the first steps of getting started? Like, how do you choose what hardware wallet? On Monday, I'm going to be talking with Adam about centralized exchanges. How do you get on? How do you get off? I'm just going to go every day. I have a different guest that just helps me to learn. And I feel like that helps everyone else to learn, because I'm going to keep it on a very elementary level. I'm going to always talk to my guests as if my children are watching and they're trying to understand the content as well.
I love that. And
that's my thing.
That is so needed. And the value that will provide, you're right. You don't even realize how crypto land you speak until you step outside the bubble for like 5 minutes in the grocery store, whatever it is, or conversations with your friends that don't talk crypto, and then you're like, oh wait, there's a whole lot of there's a whole lot coming out here. I love that you're breaking that back down and you're really like walking it through one thing at a time, making it relatable, digestible, and that, like you said, evergreen content. We need more of it.
Yep.
So, awesome.
Yep. Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern.
Okay. And we can find you on Twitter?
Oh, yeah. Twitter, Black Hexagon.
That's right.
Instagram, Black Hexagon.
Okay.
The only thing I don't do is Facebook. I have sworn off Facebook for...
No one should do Facebook. That is a dirty toilet.
If one more person that I went to elementary school tries to contact me, like, I was just out. I'm done.
Ashley, I didn't want to be your friend now, and I'm still not interested, but thank you. No, Facebook is for the land of the lost. And please know that everything that you are seeing on Facebook is fed to you purposely. And I don't know. I just have like a strong one on that one, because I see so many people saying like, oh, I was on Facebook today. You have nothing better to do with your time. And it's a wasteland for businesses. If you want to get anything pushed out there, forget it. They have crypto in the same category as child brides.
Oh, wow.
It's bad. It's so hard to push that stuff out there. Anyway, algorithms, they tried. They really tried to get around that, but you can only censor that or keep that down for so long. Nobody's talking about crypto now. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, Serena, what are you up to this week? Tell us something good.
I guess preparing for my upcoming stream with you next week.
Oh yeah. I forgot what it's about. Do you know?
I believe it's getting your kids into Hex or explaining it to them. Yeah, I think it's explaining Hex to kids.
All right. We'll start there. Kaylin, if you're free next Saturday, feel free to come by. We know you know what you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your book that's amazing for that. So
I ordered a copy, so you should get your butt on Amazon. Go to her Twitter, follow her on Twitter. The link is it's pinned right there below. Give it a little click, go and copy the book. And then when you're done going through that and your kids are ready to they already know the lingo, they got the lingo down, the confidence. This is a book that you can pass on to your adult friends. It walks you through getting started with crypto step by step. Get yourself a cold storage wallet. You can tune in and watch videos where I walk you step by step on how to load your crypto onto a Ledger Nano X and then keep it nice and safe. I also provide you with password trackers, all the things you need to keep your information safe. When we reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, I will be giving away a brand new Ledger Nano X. It's straight from the manufacturer. It has not been opened or tampered with. I don't have time for that. And I really don't want you coming back at me mad. So you're getting a brand new one. And I will teach you how to use it so you can keep your crypto safe so that you can be in Hexaco with us for 15 years plus, plus, plus. Okay. Adam and I are going to be hopping back on here in the next few minutes. We are going to be doing some, I don't even know what we're talking about tonight, but I'm excited to get back on because that man is crypto fire and I can't wait for him to spit some gems. So go grab a drink and a snack, come on back, join us live in the next few minutes. If not, you can follow us on Vibra Finance on Twitter. Thank you, ladies, so much for being here tonight. I could keep you on forever, but I know that you have children and much more fun things to do. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Good night.